Hey, welcome. There are different leadership styles, of course, and there's like the leadership style where somebody's leading from behind and, you're leading from the front. It's like, imagine like Alexander the Great, he was like leading from the front. He was taking his army and he was in the first battle of combat. Of course, that's highly dangerous, but, everybody loved him and knew that he's doing the same thing. He is going in the midst of the battle. He's taking the risk. He's leading from the front. What he expects from others, he's doing himself. There are people like, generally, if you are like a general or so, like, and you're like directing something, you're usually expected to be in the rear, that they don't kill you immediately and, do your thing, that's like good. But now, if you're building a team, it's really about, there are some jobs which people usually don't like so much. So, for example, sales and marketing, going out, start conversations with people, holding presentations, maybe be on video. There are things which generally are, people don't like so much. There are people who like this really a lot, which is good. And it's good when you learn this. But if you are the one who is like saying, "Oh, I have this really brilliant idea," and let's say you have a really business. You want to set up a project, you have an absolute fantastic business idea, and you think, "Oh, that's fantastic. I exactly know how to do this kind of thing. We just need the clients." So you say, "Hey, I'm building a team." I'm like, "Oh, you're doing marketing, you're doing sales," and so on. Why? Because you know how to actually perform. You do the, production, like producing your business thing. You know how that works. And, you just want, "Oh, Thomas, go out, get the clients." So, okay, but if Thomas is really like the absolute freaky salesman and he just likes selling stuff to people, that might be working. But if you just say, and people see, "Oh, you're like going to a little bit laid back," and you are sort of, they will know immediately that you are afraid of selling and contacting people and you are fearing rejection or whatever is like in your way. And if you build up a team and you expect that they are just filling out the gaps in your personality, your team is running away. Because they just see, "Oh, you're not doing this, So there you need this kind of Alexander the Great approach. You don't need to do this all the time, but you also go to the clients, start talking to people. I had like, once I had a startup and that guy who was like, in front, he was like going out and, in the middle of the night, in any kind of condition, he could just talk about the product and enroll everybody in that it's really absolutely fantastic. So that's like something you expect from a leader, that, the uncomfortable stuff, that you do it yourself. If you're saying, "Hey, let's just survey a lot of people or let's contact a lot of people," that you do it yourself. And of course, as a leader, you're not expected to do the whole thing all the time, but like, for example, as a project manager, your task is, there's like a client, like in projects where I've been, there's like a client, and the job of the project manager is to be facing the client. Who sometimes the client is like really not happy and you get all the brunt, and you have to also like, there's the internal, like the top management, they are sometimes not happy with your project because maybe you're not making as much money as they want. So you get this brunt and everybody knows you are the one who is in this uncomfortable spot. So, and that you just protect your team and you do the uncomfortable thing. It's not like you say, "Hi, I'm the project manager, but you, Thomas, you're going to face the client. You are going to be the client interface." And then, Thomas would be thinking, "Okay, of course I can do this, but why aren't you doing that? That's like your job, isn't it?" So, if you don't like to do the uncomfortable stuff, hint here, all the time, when you go out of the comfort zone, your comfort zone, then you grow. And if your team sees that you just want to have some other people doing the stuff you don't really like, then they will just go. For me, for example, I like, I like to have somebody on the team who's like doing something like, let's say, tax returns. I can do tax returns, but I don't really like it. But there are people who really like doing this kind of job of tax returns, calculations and so on. So it's great. That's like a win-win. And I could say, "Yeah, I can do this, but I take longer. You really like it. Hey, they take this job, But like, especially like in the area of selling and marketing and talking to people and holding presentations and finding investors and all these kind of things, that's usually a job where the leader has to be leading from the front. You don't have to do all this stuff yourself. If you show your sales team that you are going out to clients and ask them for selling, they will see, okay, he's doing it. And how is he performing? How is he doing that? You can like learn from each other, and then you can have a whole sales team doing this, but they see, hey, he's being there. Like when I was in projects, I was like saying, hey, I actually want to see how this is working. Can you take me when you're doing something? How can you take me when we actually produce something? I want to see this. How does it work? How's your experience? Where are you interacting with the customers and so on? I really, really wanted to learn. That okay, I would do the same thing. I would just like make it possible. That they knew. Okay. And then sometimes they will say, okay, Thomas, no, don't come. We get it. You don't have to do this. Yeah. But no, that's like really, if you show your team, you are willing to lead from the front. You're also taking the uncomfortable situation. That's like a cool thing. So the learning here really is, you don't have to do everything, but you have to be willing as a leader to do the uncomfortable stuff yourself and work together with people. If you just take some people and say, hey, I build a team and you are doing the sales, you're doing the marketing, and you bring the clients, it smells very fishy, And of course you can say, hey, I'm willing to do the selling, but I want to have people who are really good in sales, I'm willing to go with you. I'm willing to do it myself. But, of course, I need somebody who's really good at that. That works. But you have to show, it's really like your willingness to do it yourself. Because if you are not involving others, it's not going to work. It's like, for example, if you have a product and you are like, you can also use the product, you should be showing that you are using this. If you just like, of course, let's imagine you have this great product and you say, hey, that's really, I have this, it's our startup. And now, you don't use this yourself, or you're not even, hey, allow yourself to make your own, go on camera and make your own channel or be somewhere and say, hey, I'm using this. It's really great. It's a great pen. You should also use it, So do it yourself, use it, and be able to speak about this, because that's like, hey, being in front of camera and like going on social media. And if you just get other people, you show other people are using this pen. It's good, and it's nice. But you should be doing it yourself, because that's authentic. It's like, oh, I have this product. I also can always put out some stuff, because they will see, oh, you are not willing to do the uncomfortable stuff of you showing that you are using your product. That's like a core thing. So, leading from the front, you don't have to do it all the time, but you have to do it occasionally, and it really works. Of course, if you're just like Alexander the Great, if you're just out there all the time in the front, you're neglecting some other tasks you have as well. So you must be able to do both. Thank you very much for watching. Please follow the channel.